Hello, people of the internet. I'm the Mountain Plan. Welcome back to the Kilmac League. Back in English this week, but that won't last for long. Don't worry, we're back to foreign languages next week in an effort to help more people prepare for their oral exams. So don't you worry about that. Anyway, today we have TFR in 55 versus Portlaw United as the first of our many fixtures. And, well, what a game this was. TFR coming off the back of a fairly tough loss, of course, to Century United at home here at Room 55. And Portlaw United then, not really coming prepared, I suppose, because they were torn apart in this game. Caelan Quinn was the one who scored the second goal, and I have to say it's very poor goalkeeping there from Shannon Kenny. Could have done a lot there, and didn't really finish up with a great end product. And it only got worse in the second half then. Caelan Quinn scoring the third goal for Room 55. That was his second. Things are looking up after they got pretty much humiliated at home there in their last game. But yeah, that was fairly poor. But Anthony O'Keefe scores his first goal for the club since signing. It's not one to I don't know, is it one to remember? You suppose you could say they're all ones to remember, aren't they? Anyway, so that's another goal for Portlaw or Route 55. Capping off a great day for them. Not a great one for Portlaw, it has to be said. Kind of a shit one, but you can't really say much about a 5-0 defeat, can you? No matter who it's against. I'm not loving this. For Portlaw, it doesn't look like they're going to keep up their title challenge for very long. One team that does look like they're going to keep up their title challenge, however, is Kilmac Thomas AFC, fairly close to the top and doing extremely well. But they almost went 1-0 behind there with Okwai and Jonathan Shirimala getting in behind enemy lines there. He was offside marginally, but that's very close. I would say it's a bit harsh even. But anyway, regardless, Kilmac didn't let that happen again, and they scored a goal that seemed a lot easier than it should have been. Patrick Morrissey there getting in behind the defence and scoring that goal. He scored again, and it's a nice finish, but I have to question the goalkeeping there. Could it have been saved? Maybe it couldn't have, I suppose. Maybe not. Maybe so. I tend to argue. So he scored. That was George Best this time scoring a goal. That was similar, but I don't know. I really don't know what happens. You probably guessed that by now, but anyway. Played in. It's a nice goal for Patrick, but again the goalkeeping is really, really poor. Like I have to, I'm sorry, I have to keep repeating myself, but it's just so bad. Anyway, this one. You probably couldn't fault it. Like the first and the last one, you definitely couldn't fault the goalkeeping. Like that's just poor defending. But anyway, Atletico have a fairly trademark Atletico performance. I think they scored here. No, they didn't. Okay, so Kilmac keep a clean sheet on top of everything that's already happened to them. Jared Barron, of course, clearing the ball away there. Fair play to him. Welcome to the club, Jared Barron. So 5-0. Patrick gets to keep the match ball. So all's well that ends well. CF Dungarvan team desperately needing a win after what was a very unfortunate run of form to keep any semblance of hope alive. And in fairness to them, they did exactly that. They kept hope up and running. Even if it's just for a little bit longer, they have got the result they needed here today. And it started off with Eusebio scoring in the 16th minute. Then Creation getting forward and playing the ball in. And who would it be again? Eusebio. But he plays it back this time, and it's a nice finish, this time from Chloe Ducey to get the goal. I suppose we don't see Chloe score a lot of goals, but whenever it is, it's usually, it's usually quite a good goal. But that's another one to add to the collection for her. Not much else I can say. 2-0. Expect the result for Dominoes, but I suppose, I don't know, they're born to win against some of the big teams, so I don't know, maybe they are disappointed. Anyway, fire stationing Rathgormack Dynamos. Rathgormack, also a team looking to get back on track towards the Kilmac League title. So there's a few shots going astray in the first half, and it was eventually turned in after a lot of trying. This one I believe was Pádraig Murphy. So he scored his first goal for the club. Fair play to Pádraig, he's doing quite well for himself. And Willie John Kiley then got forward. Pádraig Murphy, by the way, had a man on the match display today. You're going to see more of that later. That's a very poor goal. It goes down as an own goal, and it probably was, in fairness. That is going down to Cian O'Connor. Okay, so Fireman Sam is trying to punch him in the top of the head, but he is unfortunately too small to do that, so that didn't happen. The ball is then cleared out to Pádraig Murphy again, and it takes a massive deflection. That's one of the worst goals I've ever seen scored in the Kilmac League. And Pádraig is not complaining, though. He's scored again. he's doing quite well for himself, wouldn't you argue? And yeah, his teammates love him. So yeah, all's well that ends well for Park, it has to be said. But yeah, what the fuck happened there? How was the last one an own goal? That wasn't. Now, in fairness to Fire Station, they did try and get forward, but a very quick counter-attack soon crushed all hope of coming back into this game. It was Willie John Kiley breaking forward for his second goal of the game, and it's a nice finish this time, no doubt about it. That is definitely his, and yeah, there's nothing that Fireman Sam could do about that. Yeah, I really do like the counter-attack though. In the second half, Rathgarmack added to their impressive tally of goals with Richie Power scoring the 5th. Very nice work from the Rathgarmack man. He is busy currently driving tractors, so I don't know if he'll be back for the rest of the season. He might be. You don't know. He might fit it into his very busy schedule. But anyway, Dean Walsh scored a goal back for Fire Station in the 93rd minute to make it a little less embarrassing. I mean, I suppose, in fairness, like 5-1 is a lot less embarrassing than 5-0, I think. Just because you managed to score, you know. Yeah, so there's not much else I can say about that. But this was a game that was quite interesting because Byron Kilmeaden were on an incredible run of form, but Greenway Rovers are definitely a team that aren't to be taken lightly. And they started off by really shocking their away side. That was the 51st minute actually. This was the second half, and it was starting to get worrying for Byron Kilmeaden that they couldn't score and that the other team had scored twice against them. Yeah, really not a situation you want to be in. There was Jordan Curry with the goal there, I believe. Oh, sorry, it's Raoul again. Okay, so yeah. Now, they did score eventually. Izzy Akinada came on and he squared it to Gremblow. And yeah, so that's the first goal back for Byron Kilmeaden. They needed another one, though. And they were breaking forward in some numbers and got caught in possession. But Oded Parker, he soldiers on. And the goal, it has found the back of the net. And that is Luis Figo this time. And you can see Izzy Akinada in the background there. I don't know why I get blonde hair, but I did. Anyway, in the 91st minute, what would happen? That they would try to run it out of defence, and it would get it would just completely backfire. It was Niblob Blibnob who scored the winner. That is a devastating blow to Byron Kilmeaden. Absolutely, you know, just a game they did not need to lose at all, and they have lost here today. But it's a huge 3 points for Greenway Rovers, especially for their, I suppose, for matters of pride, you know. They wouldn't have wanted to lose this game, and they haven't. In fact, they've given a very good account of themselves and won an excellent game, 3-2. John Walters FC and Kent FC. I can't think of a bigger mismatch in the whole Kilmac League than this one. I suppose St Mary's and Atletico still has that title technically, but on paper, this was definitely the biggest. Gary Lineker opened the scoring for Kent, and it only got worse for John Walters FC. Like, I don't think a lot of people would have expected anything else other than this, if anyone. The Hottie Toddy almost scored, but he squared it. It fell to Pissman, and in fairness, he didn't have an easy angle to poke it in from, so Pissman had to make the most of very little. So, you know, fair play to him there, at least, for doing that. Then Luka Modric got forward, and he played it through to Gary Lineker, and Gary Lineker takes it past John Walters, and I have to say, maybe you could be critical of the goalkeeping there, but I do like that he's taking it past the goalkeeper. There's something so cheeky about that. Anyway, it played in brilliantly. It was Anna Finnegan, and she almost scored, but then didn't matter. She just rifled it into the net, so yeah, she gets her goal there. Hitler then on the right wing. Well, that's a surprise. Yeah, so we've the Pissman there, so the two wingers linking up there for a goal. 5-0, and it wasn't over yet. Pissman got in for another goal. He's having a fine day. He already scored a hat-trick. So yeah, he's finally finding his form, and he is desperately needed by Kent. Gary Lineker then getting in, and he scored another goal. So this is going unbelievably well for Kent. They are doing some fine stuff on the ball. So 7-0, and in fairness to John Walters, they didn't give up. They got a goal back. So while it is a very bad result for them, they at least showed a bit of character by not just laying down and giving up. So, you know, I suppose it's always nice to see. Yeah, there's it's a huge for goal difference anyway. Like, you know, this probably is going to come down to goal difference at the end of it, and if that does happen, then Kents are going to be undoubtedly the winners. They just win so many games by these massive margins, and that's another one they can add to the pile. Kildisco and Dunhill Electrical Company was not a game that had very high stakes, but you know, anything could happen in these kinds of games, and Kildisco scored a nice goal. I suppose there was relegation involved in this, so you know, it's somewhat high stakes. Yeah, so it's a good collecting possession in the middle of the field, and Kildisco was quite a distance out when he shot. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's goal of the season contender, but you know, you can have a look at it for yourself. He scored again, and this one, well, it undoubtedly wasn't a goal of the season contender this time. It's just a nice finish to make it 2-0. And yeah, it's a third goal scored by Gerd Muller, and it's a really tight angle to get it in from, so a nice finish from him. David O'Neill probably could have done more in the goal, but you don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Well, I certainly don't know. I don't know if you know, but yeah, as I've said a lot about knowing and not knowing and all that sort of thing. Now what can I do? Not much. Just say that the game is ended 3-0. Yeah, then this was actually one I was looking forward to, because Kilmac Astros, as you know, are quite an entertaining team to watch. They don't always win, but they do always provide great entertainment. But today was not one of those days where it looked like they were going to win. And Graham Cummins getting forward for Rainbow Hall and giving the host a shock lead after 4 minutes. So yeah, whatever lofty ambitions Kilmac Astros had at the title, it took a severe blow, and they got even worse when Kibbsy getting forward just plays the ball in there, or tries to play it in, and it gets caught in possession. So it's just Rainbow Hall, toying with Kilmac Astros there. They could have scored in a fucking 15 different ways, but it's Leah Hash who finishes it off. Anyway, for some reason, right, after all this happened, it was Phil Jones who got forward and managed to score a goal. So I suppose, heroes come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? And did he score? Yeah, well, he did score, but I'm sorry, that wasn't the time where he scored. But he does score eventually. You're going to see that in a minute, I think. There he is. Anyway, so yeah, he scored a goal. Fair play to Phil. He gets a lot of stick, but he's a world-class defender there with Kenny Brown at the back. Yeah, so Kilmac Astros got really desperate, trying to do something with it, and it played away, and that didn't work out. So yeah, 2-1. It's a huge blow for Kilmac Astros. They desperately needed the 3 points, and they haven't got it. So you pretty much turned the lights out on their title challenge, I think. But still, there is a bit of time left. St Mary's Hurling, on the other hand, were still alive and kicking in the title race, and they faced St Declan's Athletic at the Bongaloid. So something of a resurgent St Declan's Athletic, but how about that? That is definitely enough to kill a resurgent side, and the tone never really changed for the game. That's fantastic, obviously. Andrea Pirlo doing what he does best, I suppose, scoring an absolute screamer. He's done this quite a lot for St Mary's over the course of the season, and that's another one you can add to his already impressive resume. So yeah, I think he'll still go down for goal of the season. And just on the basis of how far out he was and the technique to curl it in. After mate, Gemma could have done a bit better with the effort of making a save, but in fairness, she probably wouldn't have got there. So yeah, 1-0, and deservedly so. Then John Milan broke forward on an unbelievably mazy run, and he just gives it to Bernie Casey, and the talisman, or taliswoman in this case. I'm just going to use talisman, gender neutral term. But anyway, yeah, John Milan then got a header. I don't understand how he wins so many headers when he's like 5'6", but I mean, I don't understand why he's 5'6" in the first place, but one question at a time, please. Anyway, John Milan then, of course, getting that header, as you saw. Now, St Declan's, in fairness to them, they didn't give up, and a massively deflected effort found its way into the back of the net. It's time from Hidetoshi Nakata, who featured heavily against St Declan's last year for Domino's Pizza. But yeah, I suppose seasons come and go, don't they? Anyway, 4-1 the score, thanks to Pontegula Zimbabwe picking up that rebound, and I don't know why he does that celebration, but yeah, he does. And then that was a nice finish from John Milan, who's having himself in a very impressive performance. He's really stepping into a role of number 6 anyway. Anchoring that midfield, and especially getting forward too. So he's not a one-trick pony by any means. But anyway, yeah, St Declan scored another goal. This time it was through Stanley Matthews. So yeah, the two legends scoring for St Declan's in a 5-2 defeat. Anyway, I've been the man with a plan. Thank you for watching my videos, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, guys, take care and keep watching the Kilmac League.